Hey, good morning, Hickory Sunrise.
Good morning. Would y'all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father God, we come to you with humble hearts and thankful hearts. Beautiful morning, beautiful earth, and a beautiful time of fellowship, and the opportunity to anticipate serving our fellow men in our motto, service above self. Be with us, be with those who can't be with us today, and see us through this day, and in your grace we ask in your Son's name.
Amen. 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 Thanks, Bob. How's everyone doing this morning?
All right.
How are you? Good. Good. Well, Michael was to have the program this morning, but he did email me and said if someone else had a program or wanted to do something to go ahead and move forward with that. And obviously he's not here this morning. So again, I don't have a program. I did think about it, but I didn't come up with anything solid that I wanted to present on that short notice. So I thought we could just gather and talk about club business.
Mr. President.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I need $1 from you.
Sure.
You didn't call on the Sergeant at Arms to start the meeting.
Oh no.
Whoa!
I've got an idea for a small program. Rick can give. It deals with the new veteran treatment court.
Excuse me. The Sergeant at Arms has the floor. You're speaking of
Bill, I hand the floor over to our Sergeant at Arms.
Here comes $1. All right, good. The Sergeant at Arms has to pay a $5 fine.
Why is that?
Because when we served at the Hickory Motor Speedway, I brought chairs the second day because it was kind of rough sitting out there at turn 4 for a long time. And I was charging $5 to use the nice chair with the sunshade. But I felt so, Rick sat in it, I felt so bad for Rick. I said, I'll pay your $5 rent. So there's the $5 fine for that. Good morning!
I got to sit down.
Hey,
You have to right out of your reach in that pocket. Is that where your wallet is?
No, I left it. I'll get it though.
You're just in time. Our Sergeant at Arms has the floor.
That's right.
Oh gosh.
So I will need $1 from you. All right. The good news is we're all here. The perimeter secured. We lost our security man in retirement. Ron Leach always checked the perimeter for us. We may have to work on finding a replacement for that. But it looks like we're in good shape. It looks like everything's hunky-dory. It's a great term, isn't it? And so, please, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
So anyways, talking about club business. To start out, so I don't forget to tell you, I am not going to be here 2 Wednesdays from now, June the 9th. I'm going to be on vacation. I think, Glenn?
Yeah, I've emailed the Catawba River Keepers. I think many moons ago before I joined, they came to this club. But I've emailed them to see if they'd be willing to come and give us updates about whatever it is they do, which I don't know.
Okay.
To keep the so I'll
Awesome.
find out.
Steve Hunt has the invocation for June the 9th, and Bob Steiger is supposed to have the sunshine. But I'm not going to be here, but I still can send out an email. I just asked Rick about Lenorine, again about meeting space. He indicated that, again, the person over there is going to contact him as soon as that's available. So for the time being, do y'all still want to meet under the sails here for the June 9th meeting? Okay. And then as a reminder, the June 23rd, we're going to do is the evening end-of-year meeting at Nancy Toy's house. Okay. All right. Rick, I think has something he wants to share regarding Memorial Day, and Rick, if you will as well, maybe give a recap of the fundraiser that we did at the Speedway.
Sure, be glad to. First of all, thank you to each of you who showed up. And Donald, I need to tell you that when I went to pick up the checks, they gave us $1,000. They couldn't say enough good things about the young people that worked. And one of the guys said, they have a little bit more energy than some of us do. So thank you for your grandchildren. It was good. As I said in the email, I didn't need to panic, skip. I found out later, that event was the first one that Skip did at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Some of you remember Skip from the Soup Kitchen, and he worked for the Crawdads for a while. Now he's at the Motor Speedway. And he didn't realize what he could and couldn't do. And so when I sent the schedule of people in shifts, that was fine. And the Speedway was fine with that. They just wanted people, and we had plenty of people. In fact, I think you and Steiger and Richard were looking for something to do at some point, and Skip.
Well, we were ahead of the game in our group, or at least we were.
Yeah,
we were hanging in there good.
So I mean, thank you all. It was a good. We got $1,000 out of it. Money we hadn't counted on for this fiscal year, and we did put in for next year's budget a figure that we said for events, fundraising events, not knowing what they might be. But we have two options if you want to go back there again. July 2nd and 3rd, monster truck thing, and then a repeat of what we saw in May. They're going to do round 2 of that in October. And if we put the hours in both days, $2,000 possible dollars right there. Just think about that. I will not be able to be. I might be able to help Friday the 2nd if the club decides to do it. But I'm heading for Raleigh, and we might leave on Friday for Raleigh. Just not sure yet for that July 4th weekend. So, but again, thank you.
I have a question. How many hours did we put in altogether?
I turned in a sheet. I think it said about 150, 160 hours total for everybody.
158, who's counting?
Apparently you are. The IRS wants it right to the penny there.
Well, I know.
I was right, between 150 and 160.
I know we had a good time in turn 4. We did.
We did.
We did a ton of business. I mean, we sold out of just about everything except for Lay's potato chips by the end of the night.
Yeah, we had to close down early because we just ran out of food and everything like that.
And I wish I had a figure on that. I kind of tried to add it up in my head. Did you do that at all, Rick? Kind of add up in your head how much potentially we sold?
Well, I know how much we sold.
Oh, okay.
$4,150 on Sunday.
Okay.
Because the guy, and the reason I know that is the guy who came to pick up the money, one of the co-owners, said this was Friday.
Yeah.
And he said, y'all got to work hard. We had somebody, get $4,200 here at the last big event. So I was 42. Got to get to 40. Get just under 42. So.
Yeah.
And that's only because we ran out of food. If we had food, we could have kept selling.
I knew it was somewhere over 3,000. Just kind of ballparking.
And that was Saturday. That was Saturday.
Is 1,000 mostly to me?
That's a good question. I don't know. When Skip was talking, and they didn't do it by how many hours.
Right.
I figured that much out.
How did they do it?
Off the top of their head, I think. I mean, I really don't know. When Skip and I were talking initially, he said you might be able to make between $500 and $800, and then just before the event, he said, "Well, we can probably get. I'm sure we can get you $500." So I was thinking 500, and it turned out, so I was okay with about that. But I don't know what formula they use. Oktoberfest used an hours
right,
formula.
and that was what I was assuming,
And so what they did, it was $1,000 okay? I said, yeah. What am I gonna say? No.
Yeah.
So, like we talked about in previous meetings, I mean, that's that type of thing is a great way to not have a lot of initial investment, but again, it's man hours. And one thing that I didn't do, which was my fault, was to take the banner. and to encourage people to wear their Rotary shirts for the exposure. So if we do it again,
They said, make sure we have a banner next time.
yeah, that's something we'll want to make sure to do. Regina, did you happen? Were you the person that said that you might have had a contact at Crawdads?
Yes, and so she has got Rick's information. They gave her Rick's information, but they just started games back up, and
Right.
so they are like
They've got
working
tons of requests.
crazy hours right now, but she does have it, and she made it sound like it would be somebody else because whoever does their food is like a third-party vendor, and so I don't know if somebody had talked to them. But she does have Rick's information. I'll reach out to her again.
Okay. Because that could be another date and another opportunity.
And one of the benefits too was the fellowship aspect of it.
Yes, oh yeah,
We had so much fun
yeah.
there, and they took you, they wrote down your idea. I just got chatting with them, and they could check up, and I told them that on Sunday, one of the guys who was there Saturday came with 2 signs we put up, order here, pay here.
Right.
And it was like light bulbs went off in their heads. Oh, what a great idea. And they've been working this for years. Have they, nobody ever think about that before?
Well, where I was at, they had 2 windows and
Yeah.
they had one shut, which was right at the cash register. So we asked, could we open that to make it
Yeah.
where they weren't backing up, but it was a little crazy where I was at. But it was okay. We did have a good time.
Well, Cinda had emailed something about if we do it again, can we have the same place? Can you work in the same area? And that's what I told them, that we want turn 4. That's our area.
Yep.
You know?
See, I had Cinda and we were back behind like the stands, but you kind of learn the prices and it's just, you know how that cash register works. It's just easier, I think, if you work the same place.
Yeah.
So you actually rang up the sales on a cash register?
I did. So Cinda and the other girl took the orders because I couldn't hear them. But then they would scream over at me what they ordered and I did the cash register. And then we had 2 of the Speedway workers doing the cooking.
Yeah, to your point, I think we make some money, but it's the fellowship.
Yeah.
I mean, we could all get a job at McDonald's and put in the same amount of hours and make more money. But, you know, it was just fun. It was tiring, but it was fun. And just like Oktoberfest. And it sure beats selling oranges.
That is for sure.
And delivering oranges. Although for its time, that was a pretty good fundraiser.
It was.
All right. Other club business?
I do have a question. So now that leadership job is over, that kind of got me doing some other stuff with the chamber. And part of it is sharing some things on social media. So today I'm going to share the painting back here, which I already have a picture of, but talk about how Wednesday is for Rotary. And can somebody just recap for me what the Miracle of Hickory? I want to make sure that I get the information right before I put it out there.
So, back in the day when we had that huge resurgence of polio in the United States, especially in the South, parents were really scared. My folks were really scared. I lived in Virginia Beach at the time, and I remember my folks wondering, well, what do we do to keep little Phil from getting polio? And there were all kinds of theories. You know, it comes from the water. It comes from people coughing near each other. Nobody really knew for a long time. Well, boom, we had a big outbreak here in this area, and just overwhelmed the medical system here. And they were putting kids in, I guess we still called them ambulances in those days. They were, you know, just primitive station wagon kind of things. You know, they'd have a little bed in the back and running them down to Charlotte or over to Winston, wherever they could run them off to. And it was just overwhelmed. So we had a little building where the Hickory Rotary Park is, music factory kind of area, right in that area. And they could handle a couple of kids in a clinic kind of setting, but there really wasn't enough. So we got to do something fast. And literally in 48 hours, with a lot of lumber, they built a polio hospital right here in Hickory. And the part of the miracle is that it happened so fast and with not much official organization. I mean, it was really a grassroots. It's not like the state of North Carolina Department of Health came in. I mean, it was like local people said, we got to get this done, get it done now. Boom, and they just sort of happened. The other part of the miracle is, now I don't remember her name. There was a lady, Sister Kenny, thank you, who had this treatment for polio that was controversial. Many physicians thought it didn't do any good, but she was insistent on these heat treatments, heated wet towel kind of stuff, soaking the area, increasing circulation. And by golly, it really worked. And in fact, it worked so well that then it was adopted as one of the treatments for polio before we had vaccinations. So we had
93% success rate.
Yeah, and hundreds of kids that came through here. I mean, it was just incredible. There's a monument to it now over there at the building where the music factory is. Used to sit out here, and now it's much closer to the actual location. The only part of the building that survives is the brick building that the music factory is in, right?
Yeah,
that right?
the back wall of it.
Yeah, the back wall. But that's right where it happened, and I should remember the year.
1944.
When?
1944, and it was for a while. I remember 1944 North Carolina. It was an integrated hospital.
Oh yes, thank you. That's a very important part.
Basically, three miracles: the integration, actually 54 hours to do the hospital, and then the high success rate. Reports will say that eventually they moved everybody to Charlotte. They don't tell you why they moved to Charlotte, because they had to do with money. The March of Dimes folks would not sponsor this one up here, and they wanted the money, so it went down there. But the success rate was just awesome.
Yeah, and that's why this mural is a multi-ethnic mural because of the fact that it was 1944 and it was integrated. So people finally had some good sense that it happened that way.
But it's truly a miracle, and the sad part about it is that so many people who actually live here have never heard of it.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about it.
And that's kind of part of my role is to kind of spread awareness of different things in Catawba County. And I have certain hashtags to use on social media and stuff. And so we had to do a leadership project, and that was one of the pictures I took was one of the things that kind of means something to me in Catawba County. So I wanted to showcase it again, and I tag, Catawba County and all of those folks. But I just wanted to make sure I knew that we had a mural, and I knew we had where we had talked about the wall before, but I wasn't exactly sure where that was. So.
Did they have an iron lung
Yes.
at one of the houses or little history places?
The Hickory Historical Society, I guess I've got the name right, has that building on 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, the one that runs west, just south of Frye Hospital. There's a restored building there up on the hill on your right as you're going west off from 127. And they have a whole bunch of polio memorabilia in there. And a nice display about the miracle of Hickory. And you can also purchase the video there that is a very well-made Alan Jackson and
Richard Eller.
Yeah, Alan Jackson.
Okay.
And say again?
Richard Eller.
And Richard
Yeah.
Eller, right. Richard Eller. really
Historian,
spearheaded
yeah.
it.
My girls and I and my wife got to do a book reading with Joyce Meyer Hofstetter, who has written a series of books, and she's, I believe, local or fairly local, and the books center around the miracle of Hickory and polio, and go into, it's a series of books that goes into following these kids throughout their lifetime, but part of the story centered around the man called Hickory.
From
It's
a
called Blue.
It's called what?
Blue, B-L-U-E.
from a science standpoint, it's also significant that the location and the severity of what we had happen here gave the epidemiologists the information they needed to identify the fact that polio was viral.
Waterborne.
Yep.
And we need to make sure that we recognize where our club has put the, what's it called?
The mural?
Yes, the obelisk, yeah, now at that location, yeah.
Well, you don't want to go look at it. You'd never know Hickory Rotary had anything to do with
Well,
it.
see, and we were supposed to, before COVID hit, they were gonna put something there for us. We were gonna have a grand opening thing.
Yeah.
We've never had. We've had the Miracle of Hickory Park opening, but they were gonna do something special for the obelisk, and everything fell apart with COVID, and I haven't heard of things.
Well, if you look, and I went and I shot some pictures, but there are 4 beautiful big bronze plaques that identify the Hickory Development Committee and
See, now that
and,
irritates me.
and not us, nothing about us.
Where can we put? Why can't we put some up there ourselves?
You could put it at the base of the obelisk itself, but they have 3 stone-faced bronze plaques. And anyway,
It's our club's idea.
it was heartbreaking to look at it, guys. Because where are we? Because I remember when we had the sign out front when we had the dedication, and
That's the same reason the mural is on the back wall.
yeah,
And not more prominent.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yep, that's right.
So,
It's up though, at least it's up.
yeah,
It's not where we want it, but it's up.
yeah, okay.
how many founding members we have left? Just you and Richard?
Excuse me.
Oh well, yeah, you.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
How many founding members of what, this club?
That might
Yeah.
be Sergeant Ours. That might be.
Because you figure we're in our 20th anniversary.
Rick and myself and Richard.
Yeah. And
Ron would have been.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ron would have been in.
Walt would have been. I can't get him.
No, Walt would not have been, Walter Smith. I don't think, Rick.
He was.
Was he chartered?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know how you qualify,
'Cause he came
having
and
left
left.
and then come back. I don't know if that makes any difference.
No.
Walter was a charter member.
Walter and I were in the Thursday Club together.
Okay.
Yeah,
He was under a different name then,
okay.
Walter, because he was involved in soccer, and I mentioned that to the Ludwigs, and no Walter ever involved in soccer. And I
showed
said,
up Sunday to work.
I said, you got to come look at the archive. And Dave Ludwig went and looked at the archive, and he came back and says, his name was Eddie or Bill or something when he was with them.
He's incognito.
Well, his name's like Walter Edward, you know, and
Okay.
You understand that, Rick?
I do. Stop it.
I just have,
Yeah, actually, you don't know the order of my names. You got it wrong.
I got it wrong?
But you have the idea behind
Okay.
it.
I just have one question now. You're gonna charge me $1 and I'm gonna do that. Who's doing the pub now? The dog?
Nancy.
Who gets
Nancy
the money?
Toy.
Nancy.
Nancy
Who
Toy.
do we get the money to? Phil?
Yeah, Phil's the money guy.
So do I get anything for 4.86 miles this morning before I came here?
Oh,
Steve.
4.86,
pat on
you
the
got
back.
right down to the 100.
Whoa.
Telling you.
I think you should charge him for bragging
That's
about
right.
I drove further than that.
I'm not bragging. I'm not saying they're dying.
Don't forget you like Steve.
I know.
Wow. Where'd you do
Very
that?
good.
Lenora. Every morning at 5:45 I'm there.
wow.
Except Saturday and Sunday. That's my days off.
Now, is
It
that
would be a
walking? Is that
conflict
walking
now.
or running?
I'm not running.
Serious.
Walk, jog, and run. Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
The track
No.
around the area.
Yeah. It's further around the whole campus.
Football coach. You remember when we used to do walk, jog, and sprint? Walk, jog, and oh man.
would do at that track, when I used to referee soccer, we'd go over to that Lenore track and we would do our physical fitness test. The first lap around, I could beat anybody around the first lap. That second lap was a struggle. That third lap may not happen. My son was over there, and he'd be running, and he'd turn around and run backwards. Come on, old man. I'm thinking, if I turn around, I'm gonna fall. I've been serious. I can motivate myself to go around one time. I see it. I can do anything one time, you know. But the second time is so boring. It just reminds me of a
That's
horse.
a good excuse.
Well,
It's
that's just
boring.
my nature.
That's what it is.
A new
Not that
day-
you're out of shape, just boring.
No, actually, I had a buddy. I chased him all day long. He was
Go
my,
ahead,
he
go ahead
was,
with sunshine,
he
Rick.
was my rabbit.
Well, what I wanted to do is share some things about Memorial Day. I have been asked over the years to give speeches in various places, usually around either Veterans Day or Memorial Day, and I've got them here, and I'm not going to give you the speech, but what I will do is give the highlights of one that I shared comparing both Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and these are two special days of veterans. Veterans Day is always November the 11th. Memorial Day now is always the last Monday in May. It wasn't always that way. It used to be May 30th, but now it's always the last Monday in May. Veterans Day used to be called Armistice Day. So that was when the armistice was signed, ending World War I. Memorial Day used to be called Decoration Day because it started, actually, if I'm not mistaken, in the South with slaves decorating headstones, great gravesites, and it spread, and so it was called Decoration Day for the longest time. Veterans Day honored the signing of the treaty that ended World War I. Memorial Day honored those fallen in the Civil War. That's how it got started.